Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to part 6 of the introduction into drawing superheroes. This is going to be female heads. And what I did yesterday is right after I did the live stream, I sat down and I sketched for a little bit. Because to be honest, like I said, I'm not a teacher, so I had to actually kind of like pull from my head just to make sure that I would even know how to explain how I draw girls' heads and like the thought process. So, and I even did a little bit this morning because my camera was dead, so I had to charge it. But anyway, first things first, there's a playlist in the description box below. If you haven't watched the series, you should watch the other videos because it will help you build into what we're going to do next. Which is, you know what I mean? Like I show kind of like some basic structure. It's really, really important. I think I have a pretty interesting perspective and approach to stuff. And you're kind of learning multiple things at once. So it's not just about drawing heads and slapping features on it, but it's a toolbox that you're going to be able to use to construct anything. And that's really the key, is to give you the freedom to make something up in your head and be able to hammer it out, either digitally or traditionally, you know, without cheats. So let's see, we'll kind of go in order of how I did these. Okay, so this was the first page I did, and I will draw today too, but just let me show you what I did. Okay, so the difference between a girl head and a guy head, and I'll actually draw this straight out for y'alls, is men's heads tend to be, and this is, I'm using copying, I'll show you the pencils I'm using. I'm using this, so it's Copy Knot, Non-Photo Blue. I want to say that these are Prismacolor, but maybe not. So they're okay. I sharpen a whole bunch and just use them. And what's funny is I'm not really a blue pencil guy, quote unquote. I generally don't use blue pencil, but you know, I'm willing to try anything, and I've always gotten a decent result using blue pencil, but it actually isn't something that I would normally set up my drawings with. But okay, so anyway, so we've been working on our male heads in the last video, and essentially what we were kind of doing is, I have to look under the phone. It's very low today, so it's going to be a pain in the ass. But men's heads tend to be more like this. You could drop the chin down a little bit. And wow, the camera is so low. I'm gonna have to move it up. Let me pause this for a second. Okay, that'll be better. Yeah, it was like the camera was like like an inch from the paper, and I couldn't get a space to draw with it. But anyway, so construction of a male head is like this. There's lots of different iterations. If you watch the video that I did just before this, again, it'll be in the playlist. It'll be, I assume, part 5. Could be part 4, but you know, that's a basic male head. So with girls, you start with the same sphere, but kind of do is you want to sort of, you'll find me using the shape for the chin a lot. It's kind of a good idea to sort of like, there's almost a heart shape to a girl's face, and you can kind of pop out the cheeks a little bit here. And again, you'll see that there's a lot of wiggle room within this, and structurally tweaks that you could do, but that will create a fairly nice cartoony female face. The little chin. Don't add those extra lines, but and the eyes kind of sit above this. We'll get into that later. We don't. I don't want to jump ahead. Those aren't eyebrows. The eyes would actually sit in here. The eyebrows are up here. Just to be clear. So this is like the cheeks again. It's like you'll see. I do a version where I really exaggerate this so that you can kind of feel this. And again, it's I'm showing an extreme version of it just so that you can see it. But no, it should be fairly small. Again, remember that the edge of the mouth, it's good if it hits about in the middle of the eye. It tends to be a comfortable spot. And then just want to make sure that your jaw isn't too low. Like there should be a little bit of space here. And then again, that little circle will kind of help you make that thing. Then a nice thin neck. You'll get a fairly attractive shape for a female head. And then again, the eyebrows and eyelashes and all that really feminize it, you know, make it look feminine and attractive and stuff. So here, and then we'll go back to this. So, and I didn't use reference for any of these. Most of these probably took me anywhere from a minute to 3 minutes to draw, really, really fast. I've done this a million times. You know, I was trying to give some examples. So anyway, same idea. Again, working a little more surface on this. What I mean by that is placing in the features without really working out the structure like this, more the planes of the head. But you know, it's a balancing act going back and forth. You want to be careful with just drawing, you know, a circle and then, you know, maybe a guideline and then drawing in the features, because you really need to understand the form. That's why I would suggest building it up with some good construction. So profile, you know, the sphere, this drops down about the middle of the head. Get the eye, the chin's got that, again, cute little bump. Forehead can be flat on girls. It can be rounded, lots of variations, and you'll see them in here. And then divide the sphere in half, and then about right here, and I can already see that the jaw's maybe a tiny bit low. I wouldn't, honestly, I would put in the features before you start really defining the skull. I mean, you can do it both ways, but if you're doing a fast drawing, you can kind of massage things as you build it up. The lips, and they'll go over to right about here. Pencil's a little dull. And this chin is sticking out a bit too much, so let me her nose is a little low too, as I can see that. Tiny nose. This is looking like a dude. Here, let's just... There we go. Same idea. And I would probably massage this a little bit and keep kind of pushing and pulling things until I get something that looks attractive to my eye. But again, that's why you need to have your structure consistent, because if this was Rogue or someone like that and you were going to need to draw her many, many times, you want to make sure that you've got kind of like an identity for her that's going to be consistent. And it's proportions. It's the distance from here to here, distance from here, and then being able to rotate that same thing. So this, I made the eyes a bit bigger. With girls, you can definitely, you can make the eyes a lot of different shapes and sizes, and I'll get into features later. Right now, what it is this is more about the construction of the female head. So for this, let me do the simple structure. So we got our sphere. Kind of find like the direction that it's going to head. This is the side plane of the head. If this was a cube, it would go like this. Here, I'll show you this. So that head is at about this angle. So this is the side of the head. This comes back like this. Okay, do you see that? And again, nice tiny round little thing for the chin. And then you start to divide your head. And again, it's a sphere, so the everything is going to be curved. Make your lines curved. Don't go straight across. Then the back of the head, the ear is going to sit right about here. You can pop in your nose, put the cheeks. It's pretty fast, right? I mean, all things considered, you can knock out and that's actually a cute face. If this thing, if I fully rendered this and stuff like this, this is not a bad head at all. It's actually better. It's better than that one. It's got better, just better. She's prettier, but it's because of the pointed chin. I had to work that out. Like I hadn't drawn this kind of stuff in man, who even knows, 10 months, something like that. So it was, I had to remember the thing. What's interesting, I've said this for a long time in some videos, I haven't said it a million times or anything, but left to my own devices, my girls will look like a weird blend between J. Scott Campbell and Travis, and I don't generally reference their stuff when I draw. I don't. But I think those two artists were really on my radar early on when I was learning to draw, and so they're a pretty, like, they're definitely in my stuff. Campbell stuff in particular. You'll see some of my other drawings. It's real weird, and I've never, sat and really like tried to do that. But anyway, so here's another one, and her eye is a little off here, but excuse me, it's a little. This one's a little low too. And that's the nice thing, is when you come back the next day, you can kind of see like where your boo-boos are. But again, we'll get into features later, because it's kind of its own thing. Right now, we just want to make sure that we have good structure. Okay. And then again, so that's sort of more of a female shape. Again, what the difference between that and a male is, if I was going to do a male from the same angle, this is going to drop down and be a box. And the neck is going to be way thicker. And that will stick out like that. So you're going to be aiming more in that direction for a tough guy head. And again, there's proportionately, you can do a lot of different things with it. I showed how really the same head can be super cartoony or whatever, but so thinner neck, longer neck. I would probably give them a slightly smaller ear. Small ears look good on all characters, though I actually find that the bigger you draw ears, the characters can tend to look a little goofy. The male neck will probably have the Adam's apple. The anatomy here probably would go back more, so it would even be a chunkier neck. But again, just sort of blockier shapes. Forehead can go like this, and nose. Could do the kind of death blow nose with the like hook on it, and you pull back this, so you've got the big. I think it's called the masseter muscle. Okay, so slight upshot. Upshots can start to make girls' faces look a little unattractive, so you have to be careful with that. But you know, what happens is things start to sit on more of a line like this, so you start to see kind of up the nose. This is a pretty extreme shot, but there's no forehead. The lips will sit here. And actually, like I said, I've done examples of this because I was trying just stuff from different angles. But I mean, the nose, if you really get underneath the face, I mean, you're like looking right up the nose, and the eyes sort of sit on these crazy angles. And then this. And this one, she was just, I don't know, it never really worked for me. I think her chin is too big, and it was like there was so much of an underdrawing on it. It just was kind of like, was bringing me down. I think that this eye, it just felt too stiff, so this head was kind of a flop for me. But let me see. I'm gonna take a pen. I'm gonna see if I can. And this is a 8 micron. Oh, this pen is a piece of shit. All right, you are going in the trash. That one isn't even worth saving. It was all chewed up. Again, this isn't about doing a nice ink job. I'm just trying to redefine the actual drawing itself and see if I can turn it into something that's a little more... these pens don't want to draw on this paper. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I think it was that eye. The eye was bugging me. It already is looking better. The lips were a little low too. These pens are like, it's funny, they don't want to write on this particular pair. Oh, maybe it's the blue line, blue pencil. That could be it. Yeah, they don't want to. That's really weird. You know what I'm going to grab? I'm going to grab a fine tip Sharpie. That will work better. Like this. There. At least this has got some juice to it. So anyway, again, I think this is just a little tiny bit too masculine, so you want to make sure that you get that little sort of cute, pointy chin will definitely make it look more feminine than that. She looks like a stronger woman with that, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, you definitely want to have some variety. Not all of them should be cutesy. Okay, so here, let me show you some of the other drawings from yesterday, or well, yeah, yesterday and this morning. So the next one was, I think it was these. Okay, so this This is a bit more of a stretched head, which what I mean by that is it's a little longer than you might think. Meaning, like if you saw it out of context, like it's longer. That can still look cute though. And again, it's setting all the details in here like we did with the male heads. It's still the same distance where you have that nice triangle here and that nice triangle here. And as long as you have a nice sense of balance in here, it'll look structurally okay with even everything else kind of stretched out. Again, it's a little too jowly. This was, I hadn't completely nailed down the pointy chin thing, and then this was problem area. This, get the eye socket, comes like this, sticks out a bit more. Like that. Again, it's that distorted kind of longer thing, but again, this works. Campbell does this all the time. His heads can look actually pretty long. For me personally, I won't stay with this structure. What I would like to do is, like if it was in Photoshop, I would take transform and I would push that jaw up just the littlest bit. It's a little too long in the face for me. And I'm not saying that Jeff would make a drawing error, so don't misunderstand. I'm just saying that he does sometimes pull his heads a little longer than what aesthetically I would do. Would be a little tighter like that. I think I had actually gone in and tried to do a second take just to fix what I had done. This feels a little more secure to me. Like a front view, again, it's the distances between this real tiny nose, real tiny lips. I actually I show, oh yeah, here on this piece that I did, I show the lips. So for lips, there's a million ways that you can draw women's lips. I mean, honestly, they can be like, you can do something like this. Those are cute. You could do, this is at an angle, so you're going to see more this side. Have maybe more of a square lip. And I even showed like that's really what you've got going on here. Do you see this cube shape and it goes back in space? The lips, when you start to turn the head, do the same thing. This is a front plane. This starts to go back into space. Front plane goes back into space, back into space. Same deal here. You know, it's going off because the head is at an angle like this. So this lip will be more shallow because it's further away from us. This goes back into space. Okay, bam, 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 bam. You could do nice square lips. You could have them super duper, like inflated lips, where there's like, you know, you could have the little sort of things on the mouth. From the side, the lips do this. Top lip. Bottom lip. Bam! All right, let's see. Oh, a down shot. So as you start to turn the head down, what ends up happening, and I kind of did like a cube of it, is your eyes are going to start to, you're going to see more of the top of the eye. So you may not see the eyeball, and then the eyelash might, or yeah, what are they called? Like the eyebrows. Your eyebrows might be like that, but then you're going to see the top of the nose. So no nostrils from this angle. And this gets, you see that, and then this starts to foreshorten because it's going down into space, and the top lip starts to vanish. And but then what you're doing is you're seeing the top of this lip, so that is more top plane. And then down plane. So expanded, the lip looks like this. You see, this is the top of the box, and that's the bottom of the box. Top of the box, bottom of the box, and then the chin just sticks out a little bit. And really what you're seeing is you're seeing the tops of the cheeks. Like this is like this shape goes like this. And that would go like this. You know what I mean? This is a top plane. Sorry, it might look weird, but what I'm just explaining is like eye socket, top of the plane starts to go down here because it's your cheek starting to drop down. So if you don't feel that form and you're just trying to, that's why I keep talking about people drawing the surface stuff versus structure. If you can draw the surface stuff without the structure, if you can feel and see the structure, but if you don't understand all these planes and shapes, you're gonna run into trouble. It will definitely create dead ends for you drawing wise. And then this was, I was trying kind of like some, oh, and this isn't, those aren't eyes in there. That's more the what I was trying to draw is the cheek where the eye sits inside of here. I was trying to look through the camera and that doesn't work, but yeah, so that's actually, again, the cheek plane is what I'm showing here. High cheeks. The eye sits inside here. Like that. You're starting to see some of the underside of the nose, and really the whole point of this video too is just to show you to work on this stuff, because at the end of the day, to do a lot of drawing, you're going to be doing a lot of drawing, which means you're going to be called on to do a lot of different things. So you're just going to need to be comfortable with turning form, you know. I mean, again, that's why I say, like, all the tools and cheats and you know, 3D models and stuff that people use, it can help you, but I don't have to set anything up to do this stuff, and I can still use 3D models on things that I don't want to draw. But I would do it more for like getting something set up quicker. It's a little off, like the nose needs to be pushed back a little bit. I would here, I can erase that. And again, don't be afraid to erase stuff that's off. You just take it out and do it again. It'll create good, you know, it's like, it takes 2 seconds to put something else in. And you know, someone in Photoshop or in Manga Studio would do what? They would take the transform tool or the marquee, outline it, and then move it. But I can redraw it just as almost just as fast, and actually even dial it in more. And I'm not so married to something that maybe is a so-so piece, you know what I mean? Because the thing is the reality is the relationship of these is what's important, and the character. Oh, I'm trying to think of the word. Like the character between the two features, meaning that there's a symbiotic relationship that a nose has with a mouth. And because you take an eye and you go, well, that eye would kind of work here, and I can put it in, and you've placed it. Is it really part of this face? It's like plastic surgery. When people have a face, there's a certain symmetry that nature puts into your face. And when you change your nose, and all of a sudden your nose is smaller than your face, it's off. It's the same thing as taking the lasso tool, outlining this and trying to move it around and finesse it. You can do it, but you better be able to draw it in ultimately at the end where it's actually an attractive relationship between all the features. Because if not, again, it's going to feel piecemeal. Your stuff will never have the magic of someone who can see it. So you want to be able to see it, no matter what tools you use. I'm not saying that I'm anti-digital, but you have to be aware of that. So this is a nice attractive face. I was starting to get better at all the things that I was showing examples of here and dialing it in, and the cheeks were working better. And the cheek can sit up high, and it can actually sit lower. It's really up to you, and they all give a different sort of kind of feel. Usually the forehead on a lot of these, or like the forehead and the cranium, it's pretty shallow, meaning it doesn't go up real high. But any of these work, and I was trying to show a lot of like front views of different female head shapes you can use, and they might not look that feminine because there's nothing on them, but you start, you put, a pointy eyebrow and the eyes and stuff in, and they immediately start to look more feminine. That was more the cheeks. That's the eye is not really in here. I was just trying to show. Oh, it was, yeah, this shape right here, sort of like if you pop that into the face and just feel that, you can have it smoother, rounder. It'll help your face have that heart, the heart-shaped bottom, which is kind of this sort of thing, exaggerated. There, that's the top of the head. And it looks weird when you, like I said, you take it out of context and it looks kind of funky, like it looks like a Looney Tunes character, but it really is that head, just, no features. But you'll finesse it and find what works for you. Again, I don't know how hot I am on upshots for girls in terms of like, if it was an action scene and something was going on, you maybe really needed something to like show like the shit had hit the fan, you might use it. But in general, I think that it's can look a little, the forehead pretty much vanishes and the ears would drop. Actually, I'm gonna do this. Her ears would be way down here, probably popping out too. Kind of has like a little bit of a Travis feel. But yeah, so just have fun with this stuff and really get fearless with it and try it, and then you're going to want to start plugging these into your male heads. I mean, your full figures. Yeah. Again, when you remove some of the parts from the things, it may not look as feminine, but I assure you that that will end up looking like a nice female face, as long as you give it like nice delicate nose, the attractive lips that we talked about. You have your proportions good, again, watch the male video because I really go over that, and it applies to this real well. Again, that jaw is a little too low. It's a habit that I'm gonna have to, well, not a habit, but I mean, I'll just keep trying different things until I see what I'm not liking about it to my eye. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean that one is right and one is wrong. It's just what's your look going to be. Because there's people that will draw girls not like you and use real different structure, but it works. Like, I like that much better. I had a bad habit early on of drawing the bottom lip way too big on girls. I would do it all the time, and it looked like a catastrophic bee accident. But that's a nice face. I like it. She is pretty. So, okay, smash the like, please. Play with this. Oh, and I was showing on this head. Really, it's not a profile. It feels like a profile a bit, but really what you've got is a cube. That's the angle that the head is actually going. And that's the thing, is you can have a head in perspective where the features are actually going like 1, 2, 3 different directions. So I'll just plug this in real fast. I don't know how pretty this will be, but you'll get the idea. So look, the lips are here. The nose is going to sit on this plane. And the eyes are little chin. But that is a head in perspective. And you kind of don't even, you wouldn't notice it if you just were drawing it, you know, like if you just drew the eyes and you just put the nose in and stuff like that, you may not realize that, oh, okay, like this is actually, we're above it. This is kind of at eye level, and the eyes are actually above us, so we're seeing more of the top of them. Can be real subtle, but the real good pencilers are doing this, and it's the tiniest bits of difference, but each feature, when done correctly, is going to look way more kick-ass than someone that would turn that into basically a flat, kind of dead-on shot. There's a subtlety to it, again, because I'll exaggerate it. Well, here you can see it here. So this is eye level right here. Anything down here we're above, meaning that you would see the top of it. Like if that's the lips, we're actually seeing the top of the lips. The nose is right on point with us, so the nose is there. But then the eyes are above us, so they are actually being obscured by the top of the cheek a bit. So above the lip, eye level with the nose, the eye is above us, if I was going to exaggerate it. So you're actually looking up at the eye. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Again, you're going to have to play with it to really like get it. But okay, thank you. Bye.